Welcome to AHA Math and Science. In today's video, we'd like to discuss a very efficient method to find the square of all fives, including 15, 25, 35, 115, 125, etc. Basically, all numbers ending with 5 can be done with this method when you try to figure out the square of this number. So let's take a look at the simple example, 25 times 25. So that can be written as 20 plus 5 squared. Now we can do this square directly, or we can apply the a plus b squared in a formula, because a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. So when you apply this formula here, we just get 20 squared plus 2 times 20 times 5, and that's the middle term, and then we have 5 squared as the last term. And instead of compute this here directly, you just keep the 20 squared here, and then 2 times 5 is 10. So the middle term just becomes 20 times 10, and the last term is still 5 squared. And now we can factor out the 20 here, so we just get 20 times, and the first term is a square, so we have a 20 left here. The second term is just a 10, so it's 20 plus 10, and then last term is still 5 squared. So now the first term just becomes 20 times 30. That's going to give us the hundreds, and then the 5 squared, just keep it. So we get here is just 600 plus 5 squared is 25. So here's our answer for 25 times 25 is 625. So now let's look at really sort of some of the rules that we can use so that we can apply this method much more efficient and faster. Basically, we want to do the square of all fives in seconds. So the first thing we notice is that the number always ends at 5. So when you actually apply this a plus b square format, you always get a 5 squared. So the last 2 digits is always 25. And then the rest is basically always in hundreds. So here you can see that how we get the 600. We basically get 20 times 20 plus 10. Right? Because the 2 times 5 is always there whenever you have the last number is 5. So you always have this additional 10 here. So that's why we get this 20 times 20 plus 10. So in other words, forget about the zeros here. If you just do a 2 times 2 plus 1, that's 2 times 3. That's 6. And exactly this is actually give us what? The hundreds. That's the 600. And then just add the 25 here. That's our answer. So let's just kind of recap this and do it much more efficiently. So the last 2 numbers is just going to be always 25. Now, how do we get the hundreds here? We simply just did is basically doing a 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. And we put the 6 here. That's the 600. Right? And that's how efficient this method is. Now we can do the same thing for all the other numbers. For example, 35 times 35. So you know the last 2 numbers is going to be 25. And that's because the 5 squared. And what about the hundreds here? Oh, it's going to be 3. So we're going to get a 3 times what? 3 plus 1. So it's 3 times 4, that's 12. And that's going to be the 1200s. So we put the 1200s right at here. 65 times 65, same thing. The last 2 numbers is going to be 25. What about the hundreds? It's just going to be 6 times 6 plus 1. That's 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. So just put 4200s here. So 65 times 65 is 4,225. Without doing any sort of like, other method, or even just kind of like very quickly, you can do it really in seconds, just kind of in your head, mental math. Right? And let's look at even more complex numbers, like 135 times 135. We know the last 2 numbers is again 25. What about the hundreds? Oh, it's going to be 13 times 30 plus 1. That's 14. 13 times 14. If you guys remember that we did a video called multiply 2 team numbers, you can find out in our channel. And that can be done very quickly. And that gives us a number of 182, also in seconds. And that's going to be the hundreds. So the answer for 135 times 135 is 18,225. We can do even more complex numbers, 255 times 255. So the last two numbers is 25, and the hundreds will be obtained by 25 times 25 plus 1. 20, we can distribute this out. 25 times 25 is 625. 25 times 1 is just 25. So adding these two numbers up, we had 650. So 650 is the hundreds. So the answer is 65,025 for the square of 255. But you don't really need to memorize it. Just kind of follow this method. And now you can actually give a try yourself to see if you can figure out the square of these numbers. So you know that the last two digits is 25. What about the hundreds? It's going to be 35 times 35 plus 1. You can distribute out. You get 35 times 35 plus 35 times 1. That's 35. You can figure out this square just using the method we've been talking about, and then add the 35 to it. You get a total number here, and that's going to be the hundreds here. And that's how efficient this method can be, right? You can even apply this method to even big numbers. So I hope you try this method yourself and see how efficient this is. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you like this video, or if you like to see more kind of these videos, please click the like button and also subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.